Can we talk about it? My heart goes out to all of the residents of this building that had to suffer this collapse. And I just feel real sad. We all been looking at this picture all day and seeing this collapse. And it sucks that they're going to have to demolish the whole building just because one of the sides is damaged. But again, these slumlords in New York is back, all right? Eric Adams is too busy partying in the club to have the people watching these slumlords. And more things are going to happen like this because the city is falling apart. We spending our money on taking care of migrants in hotels and putting spikes on park benches so homeless people can't sleep on it, that the money that's necessary for repairs and structural damage is not being done. And things like slumlords are getting away with having buildings like this. This building had 120 different violations, and in 2020, it was deemed unfit for people to live in. So again, these violations on these buildings rack up. But they too busy trying to give us congestion pricing just to go downtown in Manhattan. They're trying to charge us $100 in congestion pricing. Can't we talk about it? All right? Slumlords is at an all-time high, especially in the Bronx. They gentrifying and they slumlording. And they trying to get people out to make a high-rise resident. Because guaranteed, affordable housing is not going to go back up in this spot. All right? We know what y'all trying to do, but we didn't want to see stuff like this. They don't have to burn the buildings down. In the 70s, they burnt all the buildings down in New York City, especially the Bronx, all right, to clear way for the highways and to clear way for a lot of gentrification. And they got rid of a lot of houses. This is what they do. They do it in all parts of the world. You know what I mean? Because this building had all these violations. They knew this was going to happen. This is structural damage. Look how it falls. This picture is just so crazy. It's one of the top tier pictures of just slumlordness in New York City. It's a tale as old as time. New York City and slumlords go hand in hand. All right? New York City and housing and having shitty landlords is just a thing. And it's going to be a thing forever. But more buildings are going to collapse like this. And it just sucks that this has happened to these residents right before the holidays. All right? Nobody wants to be homeless. And they had to evacuate the whole building. So it was 120 different residents inside that building, though, that don't have a place to live right now during the cold, right before winter and the holidays about to start. And they need to be compensated. Eric Adams, you need to give them one of the hotels that you give to the migrant people. You know what I mean? Give the victims of this Bronx collapse one of them hotels that you giving out to the migrants, because everybody could get a hotel in New York. You get a hotel, you get a hotel, you get a hotel. So give it out, all right? Because this sucks. They're going to have to demolish the whole building now, like, unless they get some way to fix it. I keep looking at it like it's Tetris or something, like, yo, I can fix it, all right? Again, these buildings are not up to code because Eric Adams is too busy partying in the club. He's too busy letting more migrants into New York City. He's too busy cutting the library, cutting the parks, cutting all the funding, instead of putting this money in the infrastructure that we definitely need. The city is falling apart. We got potholes all over the place. I got to change my tires 7 times a year. The city is falling apart. And we're going to see more and more situations like this where buildings that were deemed violations, that have multiple violations, are going to collapse and people are going to get hurt because we're not putting the money into the necessary infrastructure and we're not vetting these slumlords and these people that are just trying to get these people out, because I guarantee affordable housing is not going to go back up in the spot. They're going to put some sort of gentrified high-rise with a pool on top in the middle of the Bronx. Yo, if you already see part of the Bronx is already gentrified. They've done this before. They burnt the whole Bronx down. So now they rather just let the buildings fall apart so people got to leave on their own. And I'm just glad that nobody was injured by the miracle and grace of God. And there was a bodega on the bottom of the thing that could have been a situation if the building fell down on the gas with a bodega or something. It could have been a crazy situation. Good thing that nobody was hurt in this thing. But again, we got to do better. Eric Adams, you got to do better. City health inspectors, city code inspectors, city inspectors in general, you got to do better, all right? This building had 120 violations. And again, not saying this could have been prevented, but yeah, it could have been prevented in a way if they would have made the necessary changes, because this is clearly structural damage. And hopefully these people find a new, but a lot of these people are not going to be able to go back to their apartments and get affordable housing like this, which is the suckiest part about it all. That is another big building too, apparently. In the Bronx, I probably drove past this place a few times. But can we talk about it? Who do you blame?